Well, welcome everyone. Looking forward to tonight's Wednesday evening study very, very much. Bible Patterns in Modern Times. To kick things off, I ask that you join me in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6. This is a scripture that I decided to share this evening, not borrowing from the Jonathan Cahn series or anything else. I thought this passage would actually be a very good lead into tonight's discussion. So 2 Kings in chapter 6, we have Elisha who's carrying on after Elijah. Elisha has a servant with him. Long story short, they're with the Lord's people. They've got the bad guys, the Arameans or Syrians, and we see that as they're setting out for a battle, this event happens. You can read further on it later, but I'm just going to get the little intro here to set the stage for tonight's discussion. 2 Kings 6, let's pick up in verse 15. 2 Kings 6:15. Now, when the attendant of the man of God had risen early and gone out, behold, an army with horses and chariots was circling the city. And his servant said to him, "This is hopeless, my master. What are we to do?" And he, Elisha, said, "Do not be afraid. For those who are with us are greater than those who are with them." Then Elisha prayed and said, "Lord, please open his eyes so that he may see." If that sounds familiar, we sing a song to that name. And the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. We'll just stop there. So, just for our sake for this evening, just the awareness that there are spiritual forces, as we have discussed, behind the scenes that we don't always see or always think of. There's more going on than what's in front of our eyes. And so just a great passage of scripture to keep in mind, to remind us of the good news that we are not alone in our struggle, which again is not against flesh and blood. And so I pray that just having that little passage there is encouragement for us, and keeping us in mind that there are spiritual things going on. Yeah, we have spiritual forces opposed to us and against us, but we've also got those on our side as well. And of course, greater is he that is in us than is in the world. So with that, I have a couple items to share this evening. We will be continuing in the 1960s with our look at Bible patterns in modern times. Before we do, I'm going to share some clips from a video that was posted yesterday by Jonathan Cahn. I mentioned recently how there's been some effort to tie in and lump together Nazis or neo-Nazis with Christianity. And so more of that has come to light relevant to where we're going in this discussion. So I wanted to share this and see what you think. There are a couple of different clips from here. I'll start with this one. So this is Jonathan Cahn sharing this.
Decent guy. His guest, Nick Fuentes, said that he loves Adolf Hitler. He's on Team Hitler. And Tucker had a great time with him. Very, very nice interview, as opposed to the interview he had with the Christian Senator Ted Cruz, who he attacked. But Dietrich Bonhoeffer opposed Hitler, so he gets attacked by Tucker Carlson, or portrayed as an illustration of someone you don't want to be like. You see, Hitler started something called the German Christian movement. It was really a Nazi takeover of the church. And most pastors in Germany went along with it, but not Bonhoeffer. The quote, German Christian movement decided to separate Christianity from Jewishness, to take Jewishness out of Christianity. They even tried to take the Old Testament out of Christianity. Bonhoeffer opposed that. You see, if you try to take Jewishness out of Christianity, you got to take Christianity out of Christianity, because the Christ of Christianity happens to be the Messiah of the Hebrew Scriptures, of the Jewish people. If you want to take Jewishness out of Christianity, you got to take down the crucifixes in all those churches and all the stained glass windows, because they have a Jew on there. Jesus and the Jewish Mary and a Jew Paul or anyone. It's totally Jewish, and for everybody, it's universal. And the thing is, that's exactly what Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes are apparently seeking to do. To say that Christianity is actually at enmity with Judaism or the Hebrew Scriptures and Israel. Fuentes just said, basically, if you lift up Christ, you have to not love or hate Israel. Amazing, because Jesus was for Israel. Jesus is actually the king of Israel. It's his nation. He loves Israel. He prayed for Israel. He wept for Israel. You can't love the king of the kingdom and hate the kingdom of the king. So to try to divide or take away Jewishness from Christianity is basically doing what the Nazis tried to do. Really exactly what they tried to do. You see, the devil knows that if you can take what is Jewish out of Christianity, you will destroy Christianity. And he'll use any willing vessel who would do that.
So that's that clip. We'll fast forward to this next one. There we go.
This AI puppy is selling out every month because kids actually think it's real, but pet stores are...
You're talking about conspiracy. Could there be actually a demonic conspiracy? What does the Bible say? The Bible reveals a vision in the book of Zechariah where you have Satan accusing the high priest of Israel, a man named Joshua or Yeshua, which is Jesus, that's the same name, representing Israel. The high priest represents his nation. So Satan is attacking Israel, accusing him. That's the Old Testament. Now you'd probably dismiss the Old Testament, but the New Testament, book of Revelation, has the vision in Revelation 12 of a dragon, red dragon, warring against a woman who's got 12 stars, like the 12 tribes, gives birth to Messiah, that's Israel, is alive in the last days, so it's got to be Israel, the Jewish people. So the first thing it tells you is that there's something supernatural going on. There's the war against, the hatred against Jewish people in Israel, which defies rationality. It's been from ages past to now. The reasons keep changing. Is actually satanic. The Bible says it's actually supernatural. And so it's no accident that the most demonic people, satanic people in history just happen to be the ones who most hate the Jewish people. Not a coincidence. Or the children of Israel. So you never want to be on the wrong side of that equation because the devil is there. You're with the devil when you're doing that. And the demonic realm is there. Now let's say you were in a demonic strategy meeting. And you wouldn't want to be there, but let's say you were there. And this is like the Screwtape Letters from C.S. Lewis. What do you think the demonic military leaders would be planning to do? Well, they hate Israel. They hate the Jewish people. They hate Christians, true Christians. So they would seek to revive anti-Semitism throughout the world, and even in America. And as they hate Christians, they would war against them too. They hate the bond of Christians and Jewish people, Christians and Israel, because that bond is central in the Bible. And the two are God's people. They are joined together. So the demonic realm, the demons would seek to drive a wedge between Christians and Israel, Christians and Jewish people. They would seek to confuse Christians, to spread lies, to do it. What else would they do? They would seek to infiltrate the conservative movement with anti-Semitism. Why? Because it's the conservatives and Christians who are now the pillars behind America's support for Israel. The Democratic Party used to be, but recently it's turned to become, in effect, by the polls, an anti-Christian, well, that's another thing, anti-Jewish or anti-Israel party. So the only thing holding America is conservatives and Christians. And so, therefore, to seek to confuse Christians, to seek to infiltrate young Christians with anti-Semitism, they would do that. Because if you can do that, you can end America's support for Israel. If you do that, Israel's alone. But you know, the thing is that the concern is not just with Israel. The concern is America, because if you know the enemy seeks to divide and conquer. So you've got the two peoples of God, Christians and Jewish people or Israel. If you divide and conquer, you can win. But God still promises to bless those who bless Israel. So how would you do it? How would you carry out this demonic strategy? Number one, you got Charlie Kirk, who's probably the most prominent person in America, reaching young people in America for Jesus, for Christianity, and for Israel. I mean, the bond between them. So what would you do? You take your demonic legions, you would take them out, number one. So it's no accident that the question that Charlie Kirk was being asked just before he was shot was a question about a demonic act, a demonic act of violence, demonic shooting, the demonic shooting in Michigan, by a man who actually portrayed himself as listening to a demon before he went out and killed Christians praying in a church. So Charlie Kirk is asked about this demonic shooting, and then boom, a demonic shooting rings out and he's killed. And the question was about transgender shootings, demonic shootings. The shooting in Michigan that it was talking about involved a man as a woman killing children in the church. The bullet that killed Charlie Kirk, after Charlie Kirk was asked about transgender shootings, was fired by a man involved in a transgender relationship. And I had, just the day before the shooting, the assassination, I had posted a message on demonic shootings the day before it happened. It's no accident that Charlie Kirk's name, I've shared this before, means church. And the place where he was assassinated was called Orem, which means the dragon and the serpent, the titles of the enemy of Satan. It was a demonic attack with the fingerprints of the demonic right all over it to take him out.
And last quick clip here.
Was gone, eliminated, nullified. And now Tucker Carlson becomes an instrument in the rise of someone like Nick Fuentes, a Hitler-loving, Israel-hating anti-Semite who is now gaining the increasing following among the young, the same ones that Charlie Kirk was influencing. See, when you remove the veil, it becomes absolutely clear. It all converges together. I don't believe it's an accident that the avatar came out the same week leading up to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, because what I was led to write and reveal is that behind the realm of what we're watching, the news, the current events, the political realm, the cultural realm, every realm, is a whole other dimension of spiritual entities, all happening, even ancient mysteries linked to the Bible, that reveal what is going on. We are in a spiritual war. A battle for the future of America, nothing less. Because if America's out, it's a whole new ball game. What do the scriptures say? We war not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual evil in high places.
And stop that there. Jonathan Cahn, yes, he pastors a church in Wayne, New Jersey, called Beth Israel, House of Israel.
What was in the beginning, the first clip? He's saying that Tucker Carlson is pro-Nazi?
Tucker Carlson has been going in a direction that supports the Nazi version of Christianity, which is erasing the Jewish foundation of it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. As you're just mentioning about explaining some of this. Yeah. So there's and you can, there's more to this video. I'm just showing the clip, these clips here for tonight's purposes. Tucker Carlson has shared some of his experiences where there was possibly some demonic event that happened with him one night, and other things going on. But what we're looking at here is that he has been going public in a direction that is more against Israel, and as a Christian himself, he is going in a direction that is seeming to disconnect Christianity from its Jewish foundation and make a separation there, which is a demonic tactic. And this is one of the things when it comes to the Avatar, when it comes to different people involved, again, to emphasize, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. People are being used and maneuvered without fully realizing the spiritual implications of what they're doing and who they're really benefiting. And so while Tucker Carlson is a somewhat known celebrity, I don't want to emphasize the celebrities. I want to emphasize the spiritual point behind it. This is just one example of someone of influence who is leading in an influential direction against the Lord's people of Israel.
Because he was pretty tight with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And that hasn't been that long.
No.
What about Ted Cruz? I was kind of confused.
No worries.
Was totally opposite of
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
I would think, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see more of that in the Dragon's Prophecy film Sunday.
So, to back it up so
Please.
everyone's clear on this, Tucker several weeks ago hosted this gentleman named Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes is anti-Semitic. He claims to be a right-wing Christian, Republican, conservative guy, pro-Trump, or well, he was pro-Trump, America first, the whole deal, right? But the guy is not, okay? And Tucker hosted him, and if you watch the interview, it starts off innocently enough, and Tucker gave this guy a platform, which Tucker is free to do, right? But it goes into some very, very, very sideways places, and it was very controversial because of some of the things that this guy has said previously. And Tucker is very good at how he interviews, his style, because Tucker comes across as, well, I'm just asking questions. Let's just ask questions like, well, what's wrong with this, and what do you say about that, But if you watch and you listen to what they're saying, it's very, very, very anti-Semitic. It's very, very, very anti-Israel and anti-Benjamin Netanyahu, and that's what Eric's trying to bring forth, through this lesson, by tying all these different threads together.
Yes.
That this is a demonic
movement
using people, people that are Christian, people that are mainstream, people that are, and you see it happening with Tucker Carlson. Candace Owens is another one who has just gone so sideways. And you think that they're strong, they have such strong values, but then they start talking some of this weird talk, and the Bible's very specific about this. Very, very, very specific about this. And they're trying to separate Judaism and the Christianity, in the beginning was the Word, and that whole deal. They're trying to pull Christ out of all that and act like it's something else. And you can't. To me, that is just wrong. I mean, that is just capital wrong with a capital W.
So you got two different things going on here. On the one hand, you've got those who are opposed to Christianity because they're all about the sexual revolution, who want to label Christianity and Christians as fascists because they think that having those stricter sexual morals is repressive and fascist, where, of course, we believe in God-given free will. Your life is your life. You answer to God, not me. 1 Corinthians 5, what have we to do with judging the world? They answer to God. We take care of what's in-house in the church. So there's that side. But then there's the flip side. What we're seeing here is kind of a two-pronged approach, to where on this side, they're trying to show that there's a version of Christianity where you can be okay as a Christian, but just break off the mooring from Judaism and then separate yourself from the Jews, and you're still a good little Christian, but those Jews, yeah, there's some question over there. And so both are bad and scripturally inaccurate. So those are both in process as we speak right now. One other trivial note, yes, Jonathan Kahn mentioned that Charlie Kirk's name, Kirk, means church. There's a German root to that. It's also, as a Star Trek nerd, I get a kick out of this. There are some French Christians back in history who are known as Picards.
What?
Picards.
Picard?
Yeah, Captain Jean-Luc Picard was the captain of the Enterprise in The Next Generation. Yeah.
What does that word mean?
Picard, it was just a label for this group of Christians in France in earlier history. So we've got Kirks and Picards there in our church history there. So I thought that was kind of cool, just as a simple Star Trek nerd note. So yeah.
And first, it happened at the college campus in Orem, Utah.
And Orem having that name
And
associated.
Where does that, I mean, in what language does Orem mean that?
I'd have to double check that. Don't know if that goes back to the Hebrew. Keep in mind that Utah, a lot of, I want to loosely say the word Christian roots as far as its pioneer days and founding with those who came out there.
The last names.
Exactly.
Provo and
yeah. Well, last names, but even names have meanings too. And there was a lot of religious intent behind some things as well. So, yeah.
I know that area pretty well.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah. But I can dive into that further. So that just gives some more background to what's being explored with the avatar we're looking at, things like that. So all good there. Then I will go ahead and stop this recording and switch into our new section going into the 1960s.